Justice for CJ, a son, brother, father, uncle. Up drove the hearse Cadillac. A crowd of people gathered round, all dressed in black. And as they removed his body from the car, such pain she never knew had filled her heart. It happened on an early Saturday morning when the noise from the phone really disturbed her. She wasn't too sure at first just what the caller meant when they informed her that there had been an incident. Why, oh why, the sound of a mother's cry as she gathered herself and wiped the tears from her eyes. Somebody asked who was the next of kin. But oh Lord, it was the beginning of her end. March 17th, 2018. CJ will forever be 22 years young. Justice for CJ. In a mother's love, you will find everything's alright. To a mother's love, you are bound. You can rest on sacred ground. You are free to dream because she sees what you can be. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us who we used to be. Everybody's searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone to fulfill my needs. A lonely place to be. So I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I failed, if I succeed, at least I'll live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity, because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of takes you to a lonely place, find yourself in love. Welcome to my world. Come on in and make yourselves at home. Welcome to my life. I know everything's gonna be all right. Welcome to my world. Oh, won't you come on in? Welcome to my life. It's known as the Tiger's Den. Greetings to all of my subscribers. I want to thank you for being with me for as long as you have, and the new subscribers that's coming on in. We want to say greetings and thank you for your time. This is from Toothless and the moderators. Welcome to the Tiger's Den. Welcome to the Tiger's Den. This is the voice of Cheryl, and I am Toothless Tiger. Also, I want to welcome you to Pink October. But we have an adage here. It is also Purple October. For the pink signifies breast cancer, and the purple signifies domestic violence. For any who have gone through it, who has survived it, we want to say thank you for hanging in there. I'm sure that you've had to face some unsurmountable odds, and you've gone through things that people could never even imagine on both sides of the spectrum. But since this is the month that recognizes and acknowledges both of those atrocities, then I want to talk about it. There are so many people suffering from so many things. And it saddens me that we don't have enough platforms speaking to the issues that really affect us daily. Throughout my time off YouTube, I've been looking at a lot of different types of storylines. And I've seen some beautiful things take place in the past couple of weeks. I've also seen some horrific things that, makes me wonder, how does one go on past this? It's very hard to imagine. But yet, we go on. We get up and we keep moving. I want to say congratulations and thank you so much, Kelly G, for becoming a new member. We have a new member. And I'm awfully glad about it. And I need to take this time to say thank you, Kelly. And not only do I need to say thank you, I need to let you hear it.
Your face. Just to remove the excess water. Now she's coming
This
down.
is how you do it.
Thank you.
When times seem the hardest and the worst for you in your lives, you never know what's happening with other people thinking. So Kelly, thank you for becoming a member to the Tiger's Den. Phyllis said, one person once said, you can make it if you try. Try and never give up. I just want to acknowledge everyone for being here. Madria, Brianna, hey, baby girl. So Alicia, Crystal, Phyllis, Manzaker. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. Manzaker. However you pronounce it. I hope I didn't, massacre it. But I thank you for being here. Anyone in the bushes, in the clouds, in the trees, on the beach, in the sand, on a cruise, wherever you may be, thank you for tuning in to the Tiger's Den. We may not have a lot of excitement and we may not call you a lot of bad names or other people, but what we do have is something that bothers me. And it's things that affect us in our everyday lives. It's things that we have to deal with whether we get on YouTube or not. And I understand for a lot of people this is just entertainment. But a lot of people come to YouTube for direction, for answers, just like they ask Google. And one good thing about YouTube is you get to see if you're trying to do something, they actually show you how to perform whatever task you're trying to, complete. Greetings, Asatar. Glad you were able to make it. Hey, Kelly, I don't know if you just came back, but thank you so very much for the membership and for being here. But as I said, for me, I like to talk about real life things. I got on here to talk about me and life experiences, the people I've met, the things that have gone on in my life, and the things I've seen in other things that work, things that does not work. It's just an array of things is what I have to talk about. People was never the object of my conversation as far as degradation and degrading. That's nothing I've ever done. I am a motivator and an inspirer, and I like to build individuals and help them find themselves. Basically by the same methods that I use, nothing special. It's just about getting along with oneself and feeling whatever it is that we didn't allow ourselves to feel as we were trying to climb either a career ladder, become a wife or a mother or whatever our situation may be. It's just trying to be the best me that I can be. Me meaning whoever claimed the word me. Me. Doesn't mean just me, Cheryl. Although me is relative to me, but it's you, me. If that makes sense. But I wanted to talk about this month, celebration of life for some, a lot of pain for others, because some people don't make it through their struggle and their fight with breast cancer. And some women our men don't make it through their fight and their struggle with domestic violence. And unfortunately, it is so high in number what's happening to us as a people. We had to dedicate a month to it, to acknowledge it. Now, we want to do this every day of our lives, especially if you know somebody that's suffering from any type of illness. Do your part, whatever your part is. When people are sick, sometimes they don't want a phone call, but sometimes a phone call will make a difference. They may not be able to read the text, but perhaps somebody can read it to them. They may not have the money to make it to treatment this week. Perhaps you can cash app them. There are so many things today we can do that we didn't have the opportunity to do before technology got better and better. And it is getting better. And one day we'll be able to eradicate all of these sicknesses, we hope. But sicknesses come. And I don't have an explanation for it. I'm not a doctor, nor do I profess to be or try to be. But I am a mother, and I am a woman, and I am a human. And I know we have like experiences and emotions and feelings. And I am in a country where we're free to express our thoughts and opinions. And I expect the same from you guys, and I appreciate you all for doing that for me in this chat. It means a lot to me. But we want to talk about breast cancer. I've lost a few good friends to breast cancer. They fought a strong and a long and a hard battle. One of my friends, and we used to be co-workers. When I met her, she had just tested cancer-free. And you know, I don't know if anybody or all bodies are aware, but one of the things that doctors look for, I am told by cancer people who are fighting cancer, is if you can make it the next 5 years without the cancer returning, then your chances of surviving even longer without, being affected by the cancer is great. And unfortunately, she got another diagnosis right at her 5th year. And that diagnosis and that cancer came back very aggressive. And that's the cancer that helped her transition from this life to the next. And I was able to go through that period with her. I didn't know her on her first go round, but we had a hell of a ride on the second, and it was a beautiful one. And it was also bittersweet because it was a sad one. She was one of those mild-mannered, beautiful people, quiet-spoken, but she was a Gemini, so I knew she had a side to her that could not wait. But she was always meek and humble. But I want to share a little statistics about breast cancer. And this is coming from a young man who was on LinkedIn. I get my sources from anywhere I can. I just look at all types of articles and read all types of things and look at all types of videos or whatever. And somebody may be diagnosed today. Maybe not us, but who knows? Somebody just got diagnosed yesterday and will undoubtedly be diagnosed tomorrow. It is real. And so he shared some statistics about breast cancer. I was also fortunate enough to have a young lady on my show last year, Miss Carla Mingo, and she's a breast cancer survivor. And she is thriving, living a beautiful life with her husband. She started the candle business, and she's doing beautiful. And I basically just see them on Facebook. And they're traveling and just living life. And that's what it's about, living life to the fullest, to the best of your ability. That's what we all should be striving for. And if we can help someone along the way, oh, that's good. Maria, remember her. Then that's even better. But this young man who shared this article name was Dave Jacquart. And what he shared with us that did you know 1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer in their lifetime? And even more will know or love someone fighting this destructive disease. That's why during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we want to raise awareness about this form of cancer. Take a look at a few key factors below. 1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer in her lifetime. The average age of diagnosis is 62, but breast cancer can occur at any age. And that's so very true because both the women that I just named, neither one of them have made it to the age of 62. Mary has now because, she's no longer with us, but she didn't make it to 62 when she was alive. I have a very close friend of mine. We consider ourselves cousins by marriage, and her mom had breast cancer. And so it's come pretty much at, like they said, any age. But normally it's diagnosed on an average at the age of 62. So a lot of us think because we've made it to that age, if we've made it that far, that we're out of the woods for certain illnesses. But unfortunately, that's when they start finding out the different types of illnesses that you could have. Early detection is key to survival. When breast cancer is caught before it has spread to other areas of the body, the 5-year relative survival rate is 99%. As such, it's important to talk to your doctor about any risk factors. Get regular mammograms once it's recommended you do so. So they're giving you some preventative ways in the event that, you believe that you could have reason to suspect that you could possibly test positive for breast cancer, because it is said that it is genetic and that it can run in the families. My aunt had breast cancer on my dad's side, his only sister, and she had a plethora of cancers, to be honest, more than 3. And so you never know. And I don't know if the others were a result of the cancer spreading or if they were just cancerous cells in other areas of her body. I honestly don't know. But she got to live to a ripe age, and she was over 85. So that doesn't bring comfort in the loss of life because you miss the relationships, but it brings comfort in knowing that there is no more suffering. Because what I'm told about cancer in the beginning stages, it does not hurt. But in the ending stages, it is excruciatingly bad. And if you've known anyone that suffers from any type of cancer or illness for a long period of time, you can see how it not only takes a toll on the physical body, but on the psyche, the brain, the mental aspect. Phyllis said, I found out as you live and as long as you live, there will be more illnesses you never had. The United States Preventive Services Task Force recommend women ages 50 through 74 with an average risk receive a mammogram every 2 years. Women ages 40 to 49 should talk with their doctor to determine when to start and the frequency. And lastly, there are many effective treatments for breast cancer, and the survival rate has been steadily increasing in recent years. Share this post to raise awareness about breast cancer. And remember to talk to your friends and family about the disease and encourage them to be screened. So, early detection is what has helped a lot of women stay alive. And you need to just have the conversation with people that you love and that loved you back. Just, you don't know how people think and what they think. Some people believe in preventative measures that they have, some people don't. Again, your belief is your belief, and you should go with what you believe in. And hopefully, if you have cancer, they will catch it in time. So Alicia said, my doctor told me next year is mammogram time. And there you have it. So sometimes your doctors will, tell you, and sometimes they will not. That's why you should not be afraid to speak with your doctor about anything that pertains to you as a human being. Any part of your body, any thought that you may have, you need to be able to speak with your doctor about it, because you don't really know what may be going on inside of the body. And they can't know just by looking at you. Kelly said the U.S. has to do a better job of protecting us too, the food and environment, etc. And that's so very true, Kelly, because a lot of the things that's going on, and especially in our communities, that is going on today just wasn't going on 50 years ago. And especially it, to me, ties back to the food. And that's a personal opinion. Because I remember, there was a time, a lot of people say they don't eat pork. And I'm, happy for those who don't eat pork, but I do. But there was a time when that was the only food that we were allowed to eat, and people were living longer because they were not doing all of the microwavable stuff that we're doing today. And then with technology come risk factors. And I don't think that we actually consider those risk factors. Some people don't even own a microwave, where others can't live without their microwave because it's a quick and easy way to prepare the food. But we're not looking at the radiation that may seep into the food and any other unknown thing that we don't know about. So I would agree with you. We have to do better. And on the labels, they are getting more stricter with the labels and telling us what should and should not be on the labels. And certainly anything that could cause harm or detriment, we need to have a warning. And we have that warning so that you can make an informed choice. Because there's so many things that's out of our control, and we can't make an informed decision because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And that's why, they regulate and said there are certain items that are sold. We must put the warning on what could happen if you partake in this, whatever it is. But, nowadays our air seems to be our enemy, just like our food. Our water seems to be our enemy, and we need water. Some people say 85%, some people say 90% made up of water. But, most of us are buying water. And we think that that's safer, but we don't actually know if that's safer because they're in plastic containers. And we've heard all kind of stories about plastic. So you never really know. You just have to do your research and then use your intuition. Use what you believe to be true for you. And that's all you can do. And then you live out the best you can. And the biggest thing I say is you would be kind to yourself and others. And that's the greatest gift I think that we can give ourselves. Is the gift of forgiveness when necessary, the gift of empathy. So many people don't feel empathy. They don't really care what happens to you. They're so caught up in whatever they're caught up in till they forgot about the little things that used to make us as a community thrive. There was a time when we really had friends and we didn't have to question their integrity or their sincerity. We didn't have to wonder if they're really going behind my back and setting me out. Word was bond. Today, not so much. In this new age, and this is the information age, where we should be gathering information and changing our lives, we're gathering information to use against people in their lives. And that's not a good thing. Not at all. So with that being said, I just want to pay respects to anyone that has lost anyone, that is fighting the battle right now, or that may end up getting the diagnosis that could be devastating and life-changing. That you are not alone. There are some of us, no matter who you are, we don't know you, but we lift you up in whatever you're going through. Because what I realized about illnesses is a lot of people, say they love you and they say they're there for you. And boy, if you ever need me, I'm going to be Johnny on the spot. And 9 times out of 10, when it comes time for you needing that very same person that gave you that statement, they're nowhere to be found. Nowhere. It's unfortunate, but it's true. I found in my experience, it's just like, it goes back to when I was working or even when I was in school, but mainly when I was working. That was the place where we had the socials, and everybody come up with the little birthday pots, and you give to everybody's birthday because people's birthdays are from January to December, and yours October. So you start to work in, February, March, April, maybe. And you give from the moment you start, and they tell you about the little birthday fund, and you give. And I found it's the same on YouTube. You give to people for their birthday throughout the year, and by the time your birthday come around, they don't even speak to you anymore. I find that to be true for me in so many situations. And it is really, really, really funny. But it never stops me from being me. Because I want to be me at all times. And I don't have to give to everybody, but those that I choose to give to, I give to. But it's just amazing to me. It never fails, no matter who I support and how it works throughout the year. I'm giving every month. It's somebody's birthday. It's somebody's celebration. It's somebody. And by the time October 26th get here, who knows where those people are. And that's why my mama always taught us that you give because what you have a want and a desire to give, and then you're able to do so. Because the people that you give to may never be the ones that give back. And it's not that you don't want them to, because I would be lying if I said, if I'm kind to you, if I don't want you to be kind to me. I would be lying to you. I would want you to treat me like I treat you. I don't want to treat you kind, and I got to rely on meeting the person that might treat me kind because you didn't appreciate me and didn't. That don't work well with me. And I understand the premise, and that's why I give, because I want to give and I'm able to give. But as a human, we don't need to be, but we want to be. We have a desire to be acknowledged, recognized. You don't have to go overboard. Doesn't have to be on the radio or written in the sky. Doesn't have to be on TV or YouTube. But you all, if you're like me, and I believe you are human, we all have an innate need to be recognized. And you validate yourself by your integrity, your honor, and what you do. That's why I love the scripture out of the book of Cheryl. And that is, we all fall short of other people's expectations, and sometimes even our own. No matter how I would like for it to be, or how I would like for someone to be. And we really put these restrictions on the ones that we supposedly love the most. Our children, our spouses, our siblings, our parents. We expect so much. And sometimes people just don't have it to give. Because you can grow up in the same household with seemingly the same issues, but because you're different individuals, you may have a different security level or esteem level. Whereas everybody may look at you because you come from a big family, and everybody seems to have this roar in their voice and seems to be go-getters and things of that nature. But you could be the one that doesn't have that personality. And you don't know how to react, or you don't know how to exist, because you seem to be, a lot of us like to call ourselves the black sheep, the odd one out. We're to say, don't stay sick too long. If you do, you just might find yourself by yourself. And that's so very true. That's one of my sayings as well. Not exactly what Phyllis just said, but the don't stay sick too long. When people first hear that you're ill, everybody is so sad and, how you doing and what can I do for you? You stay sick 3 days, the calls kind of quit dwindling off, and even the visits stop coming. You stay sick a week, you're on your own. If you don't have a caregiver, someone that loves you, and remember, when I speak, I don't speak all encompassing. I speak in general. So it's not all of nothing. So we don't have to debate whether that's true, because we not like that in my family, and I'm happy for you, and most people would love to tell that story. But life kind of shows you how it is, because we can tell a great story. I am a great storyteller, and we can tell a hell of a story. But is it real? 9 times out of 10, who knows? Is it real? Is it realistic? You see, because we all suffer from the same ills. We all suffer from the fear of rejection, abandonment, no, being told no. And not just being told no, but being told no at the time when you know that you need whatever it is that you need. And people will kindly or brutally remind you that, your urgency is not my emergency. And therefore, I don't have to jump because you need this moment. Doesn't matter that you jumped 5 hoops Because after all, they'll remind you, I didn't ask you to do that. That's what you wanted to do. So don't get mad at me because I don't want to do what you wanted to do. That was you. I'm me. People are quick to remind you of that. My daddy has a saying that he taught us, rarely do you catch one complaining when it's in their favor. And all you got to do is have conversations, and you can understand when it's not going in a person's favor by the conversation that they have with you. And it doesn't mean it's you and them. It could be them and anybody. You'll be able to tell the difference. Because rarely do you catch a person complaining when it's in their favor. That just doesn't happen. Doesn't make sense. I was speaking the other day with Alicia. She did a beautiful little video, and if you guys haven't had a chance to see it, I posted it on my wall. Go check it out. And she's very excited. She's going on a date. And of course, I shared with her, and this is just a segue into the subject of domestic violence. I shared with her that now in today's times, in the information age, artificial intelligence, we have the opportunity to vet anyone that we have a conversation with if we have the proper information. Knowledge is power. It truly is. Knowledge is freedom. Knowledge is justice. Knowledge is peace. Knowledge is truth. Knowledge is love. That's why you seek knowledge. And if you diligently seek knowledge, I guarantee you'll find it. The same if you seek bull malarkey, I'll promise you'll find it. If you want to know some shit, as we call it, seek it. Trust me, you'll find it. But she was so excited about being ready to go on a date. And I was telling her from an elder, a respectable woman, but yet a woman who's lived life, who's had life experiences, to have fun with it. One of the things we do as women, and I can only speak again from my perspective, but I talk to different people and we share like stories. One of the things we do as women, we go into whatever it is with the expectation so high, and the person is going to be such. Now, we don't say before we meet them, I'm going to marry that person. But we can look at a person and all of a sudden we marry. That's mentally, emotionally, in our minds. And remember, it is written, so a man thinketh, so is he. Man meaning mankind. So it could be whatever you choose to identify yourself as. We have a tendency to play on words. Therefore, we can't never really have real conversations because we're trying to figure out what you mean when you said that. When you said woman, what did you mean? Biological woman, a transgender woman, pan woman. You know, we got to go through all of this before we can just really have a real just conversation. It's unfortunate, but that's where we are today. And there was once a show on TV that Nene Leakes played in, and it was called The New Normal. This happens to be our new normal. Words are very important, so we have to be very clear on what we're saying when we're talking to individuals. Because some people talk to you, they don't listen to have a conversation with you. They listen to tear you down, to pick at you. Because they honestly don't know how to have a conversation. And some people growing up in their homes, all they knew were arguments. So that's the way they want to have a conversation. And if you don't appease them or accommodate them, then they don't even want to talk to you. Some people only use 3 and 4 letter words. And if you should happen to use a word with 9 letters or 3 syllables, then they say you think you're something and you think you're smarter than them and you're trying to put them down. And that happens a lot in relationships between a man and a woman. It really does. And something very simple as a conversation can cost you your life in a relationship. Because somebody think that you think you're better than them and you're trying to put them down. I think I was having a conversation, I don't know if it was with Alicia or with Maria, but one of the two or even both. And we were just talking about what I know growing up about the new community that we now call LGBTQRSUVWXYZ, that community. We used to just call them homosexuals. But it used to be, back when I was a kid, they had the most tumultuous relationships. And I never understood, number one, the relationship. But even if I were to say, okay, I can accept that relationship, I never understood the pain and why they were so volatile. You know, they had to be over the top. They did extra. They fought in public a lot. And they didn't just fight with their hands. They used weapons. And generally, if the relationship ended, it really ended badly for one or both of them. I never understood the dynamics of that and why is that so. I don't know if it's still going on today, because today, with everything being so widely accepted, then, you know, a lot of things don't get reported on. And then when you look at the news and how our news in this country I'm speaking of now report things, it never gives you a real, true storyline that you can use your common sense and follow the story. Because we all just get one side and we all get the very same one side. And we know there cannot be a conversation between two people and there's only one side. We know that that's not even humanly possible. Mathematically, it doesn't make sense. And one of my favorite TV judges, Judge Judy, says, if it doesn't make sense, it isn't true. And that's just the truth of the matter. And as my favorite coach, Asatar Bagarian, would say, he loves to break things down in a logical way, because it all goes back to psychology. And then the people that grow up in the homes, and I know it seems like I'm just going around and around and around. No, I'm going somewhere with this. It's about people and having relationships. And then they become something that you never, ever imagined. And that's violent. But domestic violence don't only affect a couple. It affects anyone that shares a kindred, either bloodline or home, makes it domestic. So you don't have to even be blood related, but you can have the relationship. The domestication is sharing the same place. It's really a little convoluted, but it's not hard to understand. So Alicia said, and I just saw this, so Alicia, please forgive me. My aunt has stage 4 cancer. she is not in the best mental health, and she lashes out. And that's what illnesses will do to us. And again, I am not speaking from a psychiatrist's point of view or a therapist or a psychologist. I'm speaking from a woman, a mother, a human who has life experiences. I possess that. And I read and I have knowledge. I didn't take a test to be licensed to give advice. So I'm not giving advice. I'm giving my opinion. And I will give suggestions, and you do with what you want with the suggestion. But oftentimes when people are ill, you know, we all pray and pray and pray for them to live, and oh, please don't let them go. And for them, because their lives have been turned upside down, and they mainly have to depend on someone outside of them for the things they used to do for themselves, it's very hard. I can only imagine, just from the 1 or 2 times that I've been down, how hard it is to live in that state, especially if you were a doer for others, if you gave to others, and you just was the life of the party. It's very hard to sit in that illness and be reduced to nothing but pain. And a lot of people feel they have to go through that before they can totally understand that. We have not yet learned as people, no, bulk sense is not always the best sense. Sometimes when you purchase it, it may cost you your life. Sometimes it's just good to hear and look at somebody else's situation. Even if you don't know the inside dynamics of that situation, you see what you see. And you reduce it back to logic, reason. You can even go with mathematical equations. Whatever it takes to get you to comprehend whatever you're visualizing. You know how they say, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear? Sometimes you can't even believe any of what you see. Because now, in the age of AI, artificial intelligence, and the streaming systems and the cameras and the lights and action, everything. The big book said life is a play, and we're all on stage. And then they even reduced it to a board game. It's called the game of life. A lot of us don't comprehend it, but it's no mistake that's a game. Monopoly. There's no mistake. With big corporations monopolizing the very simple things in life, like electricity and what we must pay for them, like water, and who gets the pure water, and then who gets the poison water, and then who has to buy the bottled water. That's a lot of this stuff as real as it comes. But we're so busy trying to escape reality and entertain ourselves, so we say, until we get in a place where we're supposed to be entertained, and all we start doing is trying to destroy each other. And the entertainment must come with a fascination to, I'm not going to stop until somebody is actually eliminated. That's not entertainment. No, that's not entertainment. I don't know what you would call it, but entertainment is not it. For you to spend your time, your life, trying to utterly destroy somebody that you don't even know, nothing is entertaining about that. It's drawing you, the person that's being attacked, into somebody's web that you have no knowledge of how deviant the mind thinks. And the mind and the heart of man, it is written, is wicked. And there are people that lay on their beds. They stay up at night. They're not sleeping. They're not making love. They're plotting and planning on how they're going to destroy you, embarrass you, intimidate you, bully you, harass you, attack you today. That's what they live for. Because it's something in them that they must feed. And that all goes back to the conversation that I was having with Alicia and Maria and even Bob when it comes to dating and meeting a person. We all wear a mask. And Future made a song that was a beautiful song. And he said, mask off. Mask off. I love this song. A lot of the songs, of course, that we get today talks about the destruction of us as women. Because we are nothing but bitches, hoes, and sluts. That's all they call us. We're far more than that. We know it. But we forgot it. So we start telling ourselves we're nothing. We deserve so much more than what we're given. And we deserve to be better than we've been with our men. After all, they're our sons. We gave them life. They didn't give it to us. The hurt that we've done to our babies. My sister was telling me about Kirk Franklin had a special, my oldest sister. And I don't really know how I feel about Kirk Franklin. I didn't know. I have a very newfound respect for him after seeing his story, but I had mixed feelings because I knew him not personally, but I knew people that knew him personally. One of my nieces used to sing in one of his groups, and then my brother-in-law, they were good friends, and they played at churches in Fort Worth. And when my brother-in-law died, he came to the mass singing that they had for him, my brother-in-law, and Kirk was there, and he promised his sons that he would always be Uncle Kirk and stay in touch. I don't know if that happened or not. And so I could be basing my feelings toward him, and I know nothing about this young man, on that, saying what he didn't do. And I don't know what that man did for those children. If he did anything, was not his obligation. I was just going by what he said when we were there with a house packed of musicians and different people that came to celebrate the life, homegoing transition of Malcolm Lee. And that was my brother-in-law. And he was awesome. Awesome. He's a prodigy. And Kirk said that he just didn't understand how he got to be where he was and Mac didn't get to go. And Mac was way more talented. But Kirk had his own talent. And he has the personality. See, when you have the it factor, you don't see it, but other people see it. And they will try to beat the it out of you psychologically if they can't do it physically. And you won't have a clue because you trying to find out why these people doing this to me. I ain't done nothing to these people. Why are they doing that? But they see something in you. You possess. So you don't see it as being different. You're just being. But when I saw that story the other day, I was asleep and it came on and I didn't even know that, it came on. I woke up and I seen him sitting there, and he sounds so humble. And I, love anybody that's humble. I love arrogance too, so don't get me wrong, because we all must possess a little bit of all of it in order to be able to transact business or to even have a relationship. You have to know how to be. And that's yourself, whatever you were created to be. Whatever your mom created you to be, that's who you must be. And then you will develop who you are based on that. And you may have to do some things. You may have to tweak some things. You may have to go talk to some people to get you some help. Because we were born in a system that's designed for us to be where? Happy exactly where we are. We're not supposed to desire to be anything greater than a nothing. But we are resilient people, brilliant people. And nobody cares to hear any of this, but guess what? I'm going to say it because it's some ear, somewhere, that needs to hear this. They need to know you matter. I don't care if don't nobody like you. I don't care how bad you are. You learned how to be like that. It's things that happened to you that made you choose to be like that. See, it's easier to choose wrong than it is to choose right. Why is that so? I can't give you the answer for that. You can just look at the behavior of mankind. And you can just talk to a few people. And if you talk to them about anything that's ethical and honest, and I'm talking about, I don't care who the people are, what their nationality, what their ethnicity, what their gender, I don't care. They're people. And if they can talk back to you and you have a regular conversation with them, not everyone you talk to, but the majority of the people that you speak with, when you're talking to them about choosing to do right from wrong, everything they tell you is going to be wrong. But they're going to have an excuse as to why they should do wrong. They're not going to just come out and say, oh, I want to do wrong. But everything they're saying to you, you know, and you'll know it, that they're choosing wrong over right every time. Something as simple as stopping at a stop sign. The stop sign is there whether the cars are in the intersection or not. Some people, if ain't nobody in the intersection, they not stopping at no stop sign. They gonna shoot on through. Ain't nobody there. What I gotta stop for? Because the sign said stop. That's, the reason you should do it. But people don't do it. But I was looking at this show and then I heard this voice, and this voice was on the phone, and the voice was the voice of my cousin, Dr. Jill Wagner. And she's the voice that told him something that changed his entire life. Put him in a position he doesn't know where he is. But you can tell he know who he is. So he's just experiencing something he's never experienced in his life, but he's in a place where he can receive it. And that's the good thing. And there's so many people in our community that have that same storyline. So many of our children never went through a formal adoption. We, the aunties, just took on the babies in hopes to help the family, in hopes to help the mother to go on and be who she was created to be. Doesn't always happen. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen. But that's the idea behind it. And he was talking from a hurt child perspective. I can talk from an aunt perspective that was mother too. But Dr. Jill is a loving, touchy-feely doctor. So I know she hated to tell him that over the phone, because she loves to give you hugs. Dr. Jill used to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. And I remember when we were kids, she always wanted to be a doctor. And she grew up to be an MD. And now she's a concierge doctor. If you don't know what that is, just look it up. Google will tell you anything you want to know. So people like Kurt have to have a doctor to go to with some degree of privacy. But I am so glad that he chose to share this moment with us, and he didn't know what the end result was going to be. And the storyline and the man that is his father is so beautiful. He exhibited the epitome of manhood, what we all wish men would be, and that's responsible. He had no knowledge that he had a child. He just knew he dated the woman at one time in his life, and that was overheard at a funeral. And the girl that overheard it, isn't it ironic? She sang with Kurt in his choir. And they've been knowing each other for years. This man that turned out to be his father is so important to the neighborhood and the children that lived on that street. His son used to play with people that played at this man's home. And you can tell by the way he was living that he wasn't a man of want, need, and addictions. Now, I can't say how his life was over his whole life. I don't know the story. I can just tell you from where it came in on Kurt's documentary, which was absolutely beautiful. And if you haven't seen it, I'm telling you, grab your tissue because you're going to cry. If you're human, male or female, no matter how loved we were by our parents, the inability to show empathy for somebody else is something wrong with you as a person. But if you're just like everybody else, then you can't help but live in that moment, in that room, and receive that information. It's called transformative. It was awesome. And the saddest part about it all, and he has respect and honor for the womb of the woman that gave him life. And as bad and as sad as he was treated by the woman who chose to rear him at the age of 64, he has respect and love for her, even though his life was a total hell. Boy, that story is awesome. And he had a new album that just came out on the 6th of October called Father's Day. I listen to Kurt via YouTube, or if I somebody tell me about a new song he has. But this one may bear me purchasing the album. You see, I like to relate to people, the humanness in people, because I know what I've overcame, and I've overcame many. See, Martin Luther King said, we shall overcome. Overcome what? We got to first overcome ourselves before we can talk about overcoming what's happening to us, because we don't comprehend it, because we don't even know who we are. We don't even have feelings for ourselves, let alone for another person outside of ourselves. But let us tell it, we all love the Lord and no one else. That's the way we display it. Everybody loves the Lord and no one else. Love is actionable. And that's why, going back to the domestic violence, it is vitally important today not to miss the opportunity, before you go out with anybody. Man, woman, he, she, whatever a person chooses to be. LGBTQYPNO, whatever. You should vet that individual. And you're not doing this to put their business all over YouTube or Facebook or Snapchat or IG or Twitter or whatever platform that you frequent. You're doing this for life's sake. Michael Jackson says, stop the love you save, may be your own. I say the life you save may be your own. Because today's dating has been reduced to the internet. And now we have all kind of terminology that we used to didn't have. Maybe, perhaps, we called it something else. But with this stuff calling catfishing and all of this ghosting and, you know, we got so many names and stuff. I don't even know what people talking about half the time when they telling me I'm doing this stuff. I don't even know what they talking about. I have a clue not what they're talking about. But they can say it. Say what you need to say. It's okay. But we need to vet these people, just like we found out. It's amazing to me how just 3 weeks ago, these people were calling me and others a child predator, a pedophile. 2 were uncovered with real records, 3 actually, uncovered with real records of domestic violence, 4 child abuse, engagement in inappropriate relationships with children. And now that they were uncovered for these purposes, with the records being displayed all over YouTube, now that's not even a topic of conversation. And now they are the best people in this country. And they do a great job doing whatever their job is. They are the best people that these people in the chat have ever met. I never understand it. I don't want to understand it. And I'm not going to try. But what I am going to do is stand on these 5 principles that I stand on. And that's love. That's truth. That's peace. That's freedom. And that's justice. And then I can always add integrity, honor, valor. I can royalty. I can add those. I can go on and on and on with the adjectives of what I stand on and what I stand for. You see, I too had domestic violence happen to me. Abuse happened to me. In relationships, and it's not always physical. Verbal sticks with you. You replay those horrible things being said to you over and over and over in your mind. That's why it is written to cast down vain imaginations. And if you never knew what cast down vain imaginations mean, let me tell you, it's getting rid of the thoughts that's controlling your thoughts. Because I tell you, if you don't make a conscious effort, I mean a decision to deal with you, then that negative thing that you keep playing in your head will control you. And you can't deal with it by saying, I'm not going to think about this negative, because you just gave it place. You just don't do it. And when it creeps up, Not today. You dismiss it. It's not an easy task. I guarantee you it's very painstaking, but it can be done. You see, when you first meet somebody, they're giving you the best them that they know how to be. And some people best is horrible. And we yet give them a chance because we believe in giving chances. But you don't know if they're serial killers. You don't know if they're addicted to sex, if they're addicted to gambling, if they're addicted to stealing or eating. You don't know any of that. Because I guarantee you, a lot of people laugh and talk about alcoholics and drug addicts. But if they clean up, you don't know them from anybody else. You don't know that the physician that's about to do your heart surgery is addicted to painkillers. You don't know that by looking at them. You don't know the one that's getting ready to do the laser surgery on your eyes is an alcoholic. And then they drink the liquor that doesn't give off the smell. Oh, you know those kind. You don't know that the teacher that's teaching your child just got through hitting a joint before they walked in the classroom because they man didn't come home last night. And his woman kept sending her pictures of them in the bed together. You don't know all of this is going on by looking at people. That's not how you know it. And we all like to think that we're very good judges of character. And we probably would be if people displayed character. But that character thing has gone out the window a long time ago. You better display it and have it for yourself. And then you be able to recognize it when people are not displaying it. That's what you better be able to do. I guarantee you, it'll save you a lot of pain. A lot of pain. Domestic violence is very real. Domestic violence happens with anybody that live together in an intimate setting. And let's define intimate because there are more than one definitions for a word. It could be the intimacy of a man and a woman. A woman and a woman, a man and a man. Like I said, we recognize all people because the world does. So it's no need of me sitting up here talking about, I don't like that and I'm not going to acknowledge it. Well, I don't like it, but I still can acknowledge it. Because if you like it, it's all right with me. As long as you're not abusing babies and children to be who you are, be you. And be the best you that you can be. And for the ignorant people that approach you or laugh and talk about you, educate them. They may not be the ones to listen. Talk to somebody who will in their presence. You don't always have to talk to a person to educate a person. Because I'm going to tell you about people. We some nosy individuals. All them bushwashers, they're not watching the bushes just because they all are afraid to type in here. No, they don't want people to know what they're listening to. They don't want people to see them. They don't want people to know that they're interested in this topic for whatever reason. And that's okay. We need you. Keep doing you. I don't have a problem with it. If I wasn't me, I would be so sad to just see 13 people in the chat. When I go look at these other people and they talking about total nonsense and it's 300 and 400 people in there. And they all laughing and having fun, but they all degrading and putting somebody down. And then they saying it with the most intelligence. And so they think, therefore, that that's okay. No, it's not. I don't give a damn how intelligent you are. There is no intelligent way to call somebody nothing. Words matter. And that is what get most of us in a domestic violence situation. Words. The ability to speak them. Knowing when to speak them and knowing how to use them. Especially between a man and a woman. It will almost 100% guarantee you a slap upside your head, not because it's right for them to do it, but it's a human reaction. It's just like when a cat is cornered. If a cat comes in your home and it's not your cat, greetings, Uncle Suge, and you want that cat out, you corner that cat and see, won't he fight you to the death of him? Well, that's the reflex of a human when you effeminize them or emasculate them or you bitch her down or slut her down. We can only take so much. So women abuse just like men. And a lot of men don't want to tell nobody that this woman is abusing them. See, I know that story too. It happened to my brother. But see, you know, these people will go and look up shit and put it out there. Oh, she got a brother this, you got a brother that. No, I got a brother that's a man. And my brother worked. And he didn't want to play that game. Because it's a game. It's a system. You see, everybody don't get the Nicole Simpson treatment. Everybody don't get that treatment. And I want to pay my respect to Nicole Simpson. Because I truly believe this lady who came on national TV and said her brother did this, I really believe her brother did this. Now, I don't know if her brother did it or not. But all I'm trying to tell people, men are mistreated just like women. And we think we have the right to do that because in our homes, for sure, when you're growing up, you're taught, don't you hit that girl. That's what your brothers are taught. You better not touch that girl. I don't care what she say or do. Now, you know that make all the sense in the world if she just talking. But when she's doing more than talking, I taught my son a little bit different. You see, fair exchange ain't no robbery and never shall be. Number one, we don't play the touching game. I don't care who you are. We just don't touch. So therefore, we don't have no accidents. But if you mess around and touch, then I want you to meet with the same force that was given to you. And I don't care what the gender. Because remember, today now we can choose. So the girl can slap the boy upside the head, and she's a girl when she slap him upside the head. No, she's a boy when she slap him upside the head. But when he slap her back, now she's a girl. May it never be. See, those that believe in the words that are written in the Son book, it is written a scripture for those who have it hid in their heart that says, they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Well, a whole lot of people got spirit, but ain't too much truth being taught. And it sure ain't being walked. I don't have a problem with people being who they are. I really don't. I used to be a one-way person, and that was very tunnel. And I mean that from every fiber of my being. If it wasn't what I thought it was, I didn't give a damn. What you saying wasn't nothing. And I ain't too far from that today, but I have moved. Yeah, the pendulum has swung a little bit more to the even side. My brother and I was talking the other day, and I had an epiphany. And he said, see, if you could be that open-minded about everything. I told him, don't push it. I ain't got there yet. But my brother calls me. I always have. That's what siblings are about. You know, you have your little rivalry, but when you can call each other and make each other better and help each other see. And we came from the same household with the same parents, some of the same experiences that we experienced together, but we're individuals, and the way we processed it was totally different. Totally different. And everybody think everything is a joke. Everything ain't no jokey joke. You know, we as a people, that's what we did when we were growing up. We had fun talking about each other. Everybody got a nickname. Somebody got a knot upside their head, they call them Knot Earl. Somebody 4'2", they call them Shouty. Pee-wee. Somebody 6'3", they call him String Bean. But we got all kind of names. My brother legally blind, we call him Blind. Now he really couldn't see him, we talking about blind. That's the way it was. My brother had a big nose, we called him Nose. Now they didn't do this outside the house. But at home, Phyllis had bunions on her feet, we call her Bunion. This happened in our homes, in our communities. And then we sit up, and then we would have, they talking about ciphers. They talking about rap battles. Can't nobody beat us with our siblings. No. They can't beat us. We good at this. We started out, we had a guy, he was cross-eyed, we called him I. That's how we did it. And that's the time you go to you know where. You go to you know where, Assatar. Assatar talking about she moved 3 inches. He knows, because he knows how I get to hollering at his ass when we on that phone. He knows. And it's beautiful because he accepts me. Assatar don't even holler back. Yeah, like I ain't never even raised my voice. I think twice he said, Toothless, why you hollering at me? That ain't funny, y'all, for real. My son told me I just done got away with that shit because people let me. And that goes back to you thinking who you are. You know, that's just the way I am. No, that's learned behavior. And you just start practicing and people that you get away with it. That's what that is. And then you have some that's going to call you out on it. That's what that is. And because you've done it so long, it ain't easy to let go of. Even though you want to let go of it, it's not easy, but you do your best to let go of it. And as long as people see that you're trying, they can work with you. But there's domestic violence. Normally, the people are already broken. It ain't nothing you can do to fix them. They have to fix them. But first, they gotta know they have a need to be fixed. Even in the best of relationships, people come with baggage. It's called a nuclear family. A family of origin. And I don't care what family you're from. It started with Adam and Eve, they tell us in the Songbook. And you know, that's where murder began, is what they told us. Secrets. Family secrets. And you're only as sick as your secrets. Some family members are never privy to the secrets. Some are. So some people know how to navigate throughout the family and some don't. And they become the black sheep and the problem child. Well, it's a lot for us to talk about. If we all really want to talk and help each other be better people. I didn't say save nobody, because you can't save nobody. I believe you can laugh and you can talk and you can teach some things all in one. I really believe we can do that. But so many are caught up on this fixation that money is the answer to everything. No, what we know as money is just a means to an end to pay a bill or to get you whatever it is that you don't already possess, and it costs whatever they say that money is for you to get it. That's all it is, a means to an end. It's not your happiness. It's not your completeness. You see, because when you're alone at night and you need somebody to talk to, or you want to touch somebody, or you want to touch somebody to touch you, I guarantee you, no matter how many hundreds, thousands, millions you have laying next to you, you line to get a paper cut. If it's new money, you're not going to get no hug. Sometimes, innately, you just need to be touched by another adult. And because you've experienced a sexual experience as an adult, you just want to kiss somebody, or somebody to kiss your neck, or your forehead, or your cheek, on your face. I'm talking. Sometimes you just want that. Sometimes you just want your feet to touch somebody else's feet, and they be rough and rugged, and yours too, and y'all just be scratching each other's feet. Sometimes you want that. Money don't give you that. Now money makes it possible for you to have the bed, for you to be in the bed, and for the person to be there in the bed with you on some nice sheets with a comforter and pillow, and you can do it. Now that's what money will do. But money doesn't satisfy that human touch, that human desire to be heard, or even to listen. It doesn't do that. That's what I say. I tell Toothless shit knowing I'm about to get yelled at. But I say it anyways, because then I wouldn't be asked, and that's the truth. And I tell him, be asked. He know I'm going to say this, and he going to do that. So we just going to keep doing that. That's what we do. That's how we communicate. And we have fun, because that's as funny as all New York. He talking about, damn, y'all called him out? Yep. Some people call him dead eye. Yeah, we call him all kind of things. Damn, that's messed up for real. Because I was that lazy eye. Well, we talk about the lazy eye nigga too. Yeah, we talk about we talk about y'all too. I mean, it's just what we do. And it's not maybe not funny. And it's certainly not funny to the person that's getting laughed and talked about. But since my knowing of being a person, just like when the kids used to tease me and call me green teeth, wasn't nothing funny about that. But to them, and some of them, that was the funniest thing in earth. But it wasn't to me. And they did it to hurt. A lot of these names that people call each other in the hood, they're not doing it to hurt. They really not. You know the difference when people are saying stuff to hurt your feelings and when people are enduring. You know the difference. Because you know the attitude in which they speak. You know the sentence structure. You know the happenings that's going on, the situation. You know that. I want to thank everybody for hitting the like button. That's hit the like button. If anybody forgot to hit the like button, would you please hit the like button? I also want to remind everybody that we still have the $11 challenge for anybody who wants to donate $11 for my $1 million default judgment. I want to thank y'all for supporting me in that. Also, anybody, I will be 65 October 26th. You're not required, nor do you have to give me $65 That's something I'm asking all my family members. That's how I do things. But if you want to help me celebrate my 65th birthday, October 25th is when I'll be on for Thursday, October 26th. Please feel free to hit the Cash App or the Super Chat. I am accepting whatever you're willing to give. And if you're not willing to give nothing but your presence and your like and a comment, hey, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. I tell you, you all don't know what this means to have 12 people in the chat. And I've been here almost 2 hours. See, that means the world to me. Because numbers are deceiving. They really are. But they're real. And you guys are real. And I thank you all for being here. Whomever, I thank you for being here. Phyllis said, we had head, spit Jenny for folks who spit when they talk, and had dumb stuff back in the day. One thing we did not do, and that was talking about one's mama. Now that was a big problem. Still, do not cross that line about your mama. And that's the truth. Yeah, they had all kind of names for people. You couldn't even imagine some of the names people would call. In the hood. And it was all good because everybody called them that. Their mama, their daddy, their grandmama, their cousins. Fats. And they would call you fats if you was fat or skinny. It's just according to who just started telling the story. That's how they did it. And you just, whether you liked it or not, you went along with it. But I said all that to say we never know what baggage people are bringing to us when we meet them, because we meet them at their best. But they can only keep that facade for so long. You got to be very careful at what you reveal to a person when you first meet them. You can be honest, but you don't have to tell your entire life story to a person that you just met, unless you don't intend to see that person ever again in life. And if you've made that decision, then tell them whatever you want to tell them, because you know you're not going to see them again. But if it's somebody that you don't know if you're going to see again, but you hope to see again, then you should be very guarded in telling them your life story. Not that you're not going to share it, because again, one of my favorite sayings are, to thine own self be true. And if you're true with you, you'll be true to everybody. But everybody don't deserve your truth. Now these people here, they decide to just go and look up stuff and put it out here as if it's cute and it's funny, and it's not. It's not cute, nor is it funny. It's very intimidating, harassing, bullying, degrading. And they're doing it for those purposes. They're not doing it to help anybody, because if they were, when it was discovered about these people who have done these awful things to these children, then that would have been something that everybody, just like the local news, would have been talking about. Now, all of a sudden, it's a subject that nobody wants to touch. No, don't say that about them. Yeah. All that bullshit. They don't want to talk now. Now everybody is somebody else, and let's talk about something else. But long as they're destroying you and who you and what you stand for, everybody give cash apps and super chats and hey, it's funny and I want to hang out in this chat and that chat. It's amazing to me. to see how we operate as a people and don't really understand what's happening around us. We're going to need each other. Some of these same people that's making fun of and mistreating and think they know you based on somebody else's that don't know you story of you. They think they really know you. Some think they can listen to you on YouTube and know you. And you can know a person's character by hearing them. But what you also must remember is the person that you're judging can listen and know you too. See, we're all capable of judging. I choose not to judge. I just like to talk about people because I don't have no place for people to go. But behavior, I could talk about that for days. And likewise, hey, NGM, good to see you. Likewise. You know, I hear a lot of people, keep my name out your mouth. Well, this is America. You can't tell me that. And I do it. Now say my name. I'm like Beyonce, the Queen Bee. Say my name, say my name. If anybody's around you or not, just say it. It might make you feel better. My name has that effect on people. And it doesn't matter if you call me Toothless or if you call me Cheryl. Either way, it may do you some good. But in the domestic violence, I have some statistics. And I went to some states. I want to tell a story. I looked high and low for this story. And I could not find this story to save my life. If my life depended on me finding that story today, y'all would be gone. And I've been looking for it for the last couple of days. But I know the young lady that this happened to. I met her in 2013, 2014, when our house burned and we had to live in hotel for approximately, let me see, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. 11 months we lived in a hotel because people tried to beat us out of our money. Construction workers did. But we're in our home today. But this young lady, she had fire as well. And her insurance put her up at this hotel. And we would see each other at the breakfast because we lived in like the suites where they have the free breakfast. And we would go down and eat breakfast. Sometime I would go down. That's before I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. And I used to move around more. And we would go down and we met her. And her name is Jennifer. I could not remember her last name. I tried to search my documents to see if I had anything because I wrote a couple of things for her, but I also have a new computer, and so I couldn't find any of the information I had written for her back then. And she's a very beautiful young lady, and she had 2 children, and she had, I believe he was her husband. And she worked at the time when this happened to her at Republic National Bank. That's a big bank that's here in Dallas, used to be. Now the bank is known as Bank of America. But it was Republic National Bank at one time. Then it was Nations Bank. And now it's Bank of America. But at Republic National Bank is one of the biggest banks in the state of Texas. And it sits downtown Dallas and it has all the big stores on it and everything. Well, I believe it had turned to Nations by the time that she was assaulted. But she was breaking up with this young man. And again, I can't remember if it was her husband or her boyfriend. I believe it was her husband, but I cannot really say. But I can tell you this. that while she was at work one day on break, he got into the building. And most banks are secure. You have to go through the security guard. I don't know how he got to get in through the door, but he came in and she saw him. And of course, she started running from him. And she got on the elevator, and he got on the elevator with her, and he shot her in her head. And after he shot her in her head, she managed to get off the elevator and she ran to some offices. But in the course of her running, he shot her 2 more times. Once was in the back, or twice in the back, or in the leg, or whatever. But anyway, a security guard came and, they subdued him and got her to the hospital, and she lived to tell the story. And she was starting a domestic violence program. I don't know how far she's gotten. I haven't heard from her since about a year or two after we left the hotel. We used to stay in touch, but I haven't heard from her in that period of time, and that was like 8 years ago. And this happened to her before we were in the hotel. So this happened to her about maybe 10 or 15 years ago. I tried to find the story, and I tried so very hard because it was a big story, but I just could not find it. And all of this was because she was wanting to leave him. And so domestic violence can take so many different turns, and so many different things can happen. There was one young lady who put a restraining order on the guy that was stalking her and didn't want to let her go. And they thought that that would be enough to keep him away. Unfortunately, he shot her dead. And so when we have these type of stories, nobody, when we talk about how this can be prevented, we always talk about everything but what I think is one of the core problems. And I know the Second Amendment gives us the right to bear arms, but what do we define arms as? Because there was one time when we didn't have guns, but yet we still had the right to bear arms. So I think one of the biggest problems, especially when people get killed by, guns, or get shot, they don't necessarily have to die. It's because of the gun. But we talk and have the conversation about everything around the gun. We never, ever have the conversation as the gun being the issue. And no one has to agree with me. That's just what I see as an issue. And as long as we keep avoiding that topic, we will never, ever settle any other topic. That's just my personal opinion. But I looked up the statistics in Texas, and I went to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. And I started with Texas, but I actually did it for a lot of the states of the people that support me that are in the room. And I'm just making it a little bigger so that I can see it. And that's a little too big. And the website is the NCADV, and domestic violence in Texas. What is domestic violence is one of the things they answer. And it says domestic violence is the willful intimidation, physical assault, battery, sexual assault, and or other abusive behavior as part of a systematic pattern of power and control perpetuated by one intimate partner against another. It includes physical violence, sexual violence, threats, economics, and emotional, psychological abuse. The frequency and severity of domestic violence varies dramatically. Now, it's some people right on this app are actually dealing with either being charged with domestic violence or being the perpetrator of domestic violence or being the victim of domestic violence. And it could be a male or a female, a man or a woman, a girl or a boy, a transgender, a homosexual, a lesbian, whatever they call all these other people. I don't know what all those letters stands for, but a fluid person, a pan person. It could be whatever your alphabet is. Oh, let me tell y'all a little joke right now. And I know I'm very serious, but this tickled me so damn bad I thought I was going to just die. I was talking to Astor the other night. You know, sometimes I call him when he's working because I know he's working in the middle of the night. And I know he did it before he met me, and he'll do it until he quit. But because he met me, sometimes when I can't sleep at night, I'll just call and keep him busy on the conversation. So he told me, hold up, Toothless, I got to take this call. I'll call you back. I told him, okay. So we hung up. He called me back. He said, okay, those were those alphabet boys. Now I'm thinking he's talking about when I used to hear the alphabet boys. And I want to ask y'all in the chat, anybody who's willing to answer. If somebody tell you the alphabet boys just called me, could y'all please tell me who y'all think? Anybody in the chat, please respond. Who do y'all think that person is talking about if y'all hear somebody tell y'all that the alphabet boys? It must be you, because I can hear me. Well, I can hear me, but I don't know if you can hear me. But nobody else is saying they have a problem with their sound. Okay, Angie can hear me, so it's you, Asatar. So fix the phone. But Angie, I agree 100%. I'm not a carrier, but I'm definitely a survivor. I love the way you said that. That's absolutely beautiful. Okay, so now I need y'all to tell me right quick if I say that was the alphabet boy. Okay, Angie, that's a good one. Anybody else, please answer. If you're in the chat, tell me. If somebody tell you the alphabet boys, that's who that was. Who would y'all think they're talking about? Esther, don't you answer, because I'm telling our story the other night on the phone that just tickled me to no end. So Esther, don't you answer. You said you can hear now, so just see what the answer's gonna be. I need somebody other than Angie to answer, if y'all would, please. But if Angie's gonna be the only one that's gonna participate, Angie, thank you very much, and I'll go with your answer. But I was hoping that we would get 2 or 3 people tell me who they think that a person's talking about if they say that was the alphabet boys. Could anybody please tell me? Going once, going twice. I see Maria got body blue raised arm. I don't know what that means. But Maria on StreamYard, y'all don't show sometimes the emojis. Sometimes it just write them out. But look like Angie, you and I are the only 2 that's interested in the topic right now. So anyway, thank you very much, Angie, for responding, because when he told me that was the alphabet boys, I thought like you, Angie. I was thinking it was the FBI or the CIA or the IRS, because that's normally what we call those people, the alphabet boys. But he was talking about the community. And boy, I just thought I was going to die, because I didn't even think about the LGBTQRSUVWXYZ. I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking about the 3 letters that everybody fear when they hear that name. So that was so funny. I just had to say that in the middle of telling this story. Oh, Maria says she didn't know. Okay. But that was just so funny when I heard that. It tickled me pink. So some stuff I guess ain't funny to everybody, but that tickled me to no end. But anywho, I was talking about the domestic violence and here in Texas, what it says statistically. And some things are the same for all states because I did quite a few states that I feel that listen to me from time to time. And so in the state of Texas, because that's where I'm from, the domestic violence in Texas is 40.1% of Texas women and 34.9% of Texas men experience intimate partner physical violence, intimate partner rape, and or intimate partner stalking in their lifetimes. In 2019, it is estimated that 71,637 victims received services through family violence agencies funded through the Texas Health and Human Services Commission. Health and Human Services Commission estimates that funded agencies received 281,816 emergency hotline calls in 2019. In 2019, 150 women in Texas were killed by a male intimate partner. One woman was killed by a same-sex partner, and 31 men were killed by a female intimate partner, and 3 men were killed by the same-sex partner. 63% of intimate partner homicides of women by men, or 68% of intimate partner homicides of men by women, and 50% of homicides by a same-sex partner who committed using firearms. Hey, Catchy, let me do as I have been taught to do because it makes it so much easier. When you're looking at it as well. And I don't have to read everything. I won't read everything on all of them, but I just will read this section in domestic violence because all of these answers for all states are pretty much the same. I'm down at in 2019, 48% of the victims seeking assistance were denied shelter due to lack of space, an increase over 9 years of 28%. Firearm facilitated intimate partner femicides in Texas increased from an average of 77 women annually between 2010 and 2014 to 96 women annually between 2015 and 2019. 75% of Texas 16 to 24-year-olds have either experienced dating violence or know another young person who has. On one day in 2020, domestic violence shelters in Texas served 5,950 victims of domestic violence and received 1,563 hotline calls. 948 requests for services on this day was unmet due to a lack of resources. So it is so bad that we don't even have the resources to assist the people that need the help. As of December 31st, 2020, Texas has submitted 32 domestic violence misdemeanor convictions and no domestic violence protective orders in the NICS index. And the NICS index is a national index that goes throughout the United States, so it doesn't matter where the person goes. If they have an issue with domestic violence, it will follow them. And between 2006 and 2015, there were 20,738 active protection orders in the National Crime Information Center for Texas, 2,169 of which had a disqualifying Brady indicator. And that disqualifying Brady indicator has to do with the laws, the Brady law that has to deal with firearms. And we're not going to read about that, but that's what that is. And then the did you know is pretty much the same in all of the states. So I'm just going to read this one for Texas. And it says 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men in the United States have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner. On a single day in 2020, domestic violence hotlines received 21,321 calls, an average of almost 15 calls every minute. In 2018, domestic violence accounted for 20% of all violent crime. Abusers' access to firearms increases the risk of intimate partner femicide approximately 1,000%. When firearms have been used in the most severe abuse incident, the risk factors 41-fold. 65% of all murder-suicides involve an intimate partner. 96% of the victims of these crimes are female. Domestic violence-related firearm laws in Texas. Texas law prohibits domestic violence misdemeanors from possessing firearms for 5 years after, I guess, their conviction or whatever. And then there is, if you are in a crisis, and anybody could write this number down in case you want to give it to somebody that you may know that may be experiencing something. Oftentimes, if you know somebody that's experiencing this, they're pretty much not going to listen, and you don't really know what to tell them because you don't know what could put a person's life in danger. A lot of people would love to tell you what they wouldn't take and what they wouldn't do, and perhaps they wouldn't, but if they are you, they're going to do exactly what you're doing, and you're going to do what you think is best to get you out alive, because only you know what it's like when you're going through the trauma of domestic violence. I've lived it, and I think I'm very thankful that I lived through it. And as Angie say, I don't carry it, but I don't subject myself to it. Now, again, we can never say what's what and who's who, but today we have more tools. If we didn't know a person when we, started dating, then we can find some information about them beforehand so we can make an informed decision to decide if we want to go back into the dating game. But the contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-SAFE, SAFE, which equals 799-7233, or www.thehotline.org. And please visit the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence website at www.ncadv.org for more fact sheets, membership information, and valuable resources. So you can find any type of resources that you may need. Thank you so much, Catchy, for dropping that in the chat. And Maria said, Angie M., my friend lost her mom, her stepdad, and her son to her daughter's father. He couldn't hurt her, so he killed them. It's very, very real. Yeah, and Maria also knew the lady. I don't know if y'all remember this story. I don't know if she knew the girl because it's been a while since she shared it with me, but she definitely knew the mother of the girl that the boyfriend came from Texas and shot her online. She knew of that family. And the girl was dating him in Louisiana, and he had a wife here in Texas, and they both knew of each other. But I think he was angry because she said some things to the wife on Facebook. And so he felt that he had to, I guess, protect her honor Now, it wasn't honorable for him not to sleep with another woman. I guess that was too much like right. So he had to protect her honor, and he told her what he was going to do to her. And I'm sure that she did believe him. She was afraid, but he made it to Louisiana. So I guess they didn't live too far apart. But he made it to Louisiana and came and actually shot her online. That happened. So, it's so many things that happen, and we're not even aware of these things happening, because a lot of times when people are going through domestic situation, they don't share it with other people. I know when I was going through my abuse, I didn't share it with other people. I shared it afterward, and I shared it with one of my cousins who I was close to at the time, and she knew what was going on, because I'm a person, I believe in sharing it with another human being. I can't keep anything that happened to me inside. So I have to strategically pick and choose who I'm going to share it with. And then I will share things with my family later. But when I'm going through, because one of the things about sharing, when you're in a domestic relationship, everybody would tell you how stupid you are and how all you got to do is leave and how you shouldn't take that. And I'll never forget with Phyllis, and I shared this story before, and her husband, when he was violent toward her, and she finally got the nerve to go to court and file for a protective order. And the judge asked her why was she so afraid of him, and she was telling him all of the things that he said that he was going to do to her, our home and her family, and blow it up and all that. And the judge asked her, who have you known him to do any of that to? And she said, nobody. She didn't know nobody that he hit either, but he did her. And the judge, he did grant her the protective order. And the judge told him, if you ever go back over there messing with that woman, you going to the penitentiary. And she just happened to have a very compassionate and sympathetic judge. Some judges, not so much. Some judges give these men, no matter what they do to you, they give them all kind of reprieves and allow them to come home and pretend they're going to get help, or they may even sign up for an anger management class but don't attend, a NA or an AA class and don't attend. And because most of those classes are anonymous, they honestly really don't have to attend, because who can attest to they were actually there? They have a sheet that they're supposed to get signed, but all you need is someone's first name, because I don't know if you all are aware, but when you're in a program of recovery, anonymity is one of the traditions that make the program work. And so therefore they don't use last names. They only use first names to keep you anonymous. They cannot, it's only one, Jane Doe. And I'm just using that name for the lack of another name, even though we know Jane Doe stands for anybody that's unidentified. But in this situation, it's only one Jane Doe, but it's a gazillion Janes. So they just say Jane instead of Jane Doe. Oh, thank you so much. That is so sweet of you. I want to acknowledge the Cash App that I just received. And I hope I just received it because I just seen it on the computer. I have the phone shut down because I normally get all kind of ticks and phone calls. And so that's the state of Texas. And so, like I said, most of those statistics are the same with the exception of the one in the middle. So that's the only one that I'll be talking about. I won't be reading all of that. Let me just do this.
Your face. You got to remove the excess water. Now she's coming
This
out.
is how you do it. Thank you. welcome to Rock Creek Park. Doing it in the park. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to do something different, so forgive me for that. See that old man over there in his chair? This old man is living in the bottle. He done quit his 9 to 5. He drink full time, and now he's living in the bottle. Well, see that old man over there in his chair? This old man got a problem, and it's a bad one. Now he done pawned off everything, his old woman wedding ring for the bottle. Well, and don't you think it's a crime when time after time people living in the bottle? These people living in the bottle, y'all. Thank you so much. Let's go to the state of Louisiana. Here we have, again, remember all the other stuff is all the same, pretty much. But here we have, in the state of Louisiana, 35.9% of Louisiana women and 35.2% of Louisiana men experience intimate partner physical violence. Now, Louisiana is showing y'all that it is an equal opportunity state. The men and women are almost equal in the abuse of one another. Intimate partner sexual violence and or intimate partner stalking in their lifetimes. In 2017, Louisiana had the second highest femicide rate in the United States. More than half of 2017 femicide victims were killed by intimate partners, and 70% of intimate partner femicides were committed using firearms. There has been at least one domestic homicide in every parish in Louisiana. So Louisiana called their counties parishes. So if your state called your counties for however many counties they've had in Louisiana, a woman has been killed in every last one of them. As of December 31st, 2019, Louisiana has submitted 34,873 domestic violence misdemeanor and 3,363 active protective order records to the NICS index. In between 2006 and 2015, there were 13,674 active protection orders in the National Crime Information Center for Louisiana. 9,167 of the protection orders had a disqualifying Brady indicator. And if you guys would look this up, it shows the disqualifying Brady indicators on the second page. On the domestic violence related firearm laws in Louisiana, I'm going to read that. It says, Louisiana can strengthen its laws by prohibiting all domestic violence and dating violence misdemeanants from possessing firearms unless they have been pardoned and their records expunged or have otherwise had their civil rights restored. Prohibiting respondents to ex parte protective orders from possessing firearms. And ex parte protective orders mean one-sided. Anytime you are dealing with the courts and you are allowed to speak without the other person's voice being heard. That's called ex parte conversation. Requiring all persons prohibited due to domestic violence to surrender all firearms in their possession. If requested by the survivor, requiring law enforcement to recover all firearms and ammunition when responding to domestic violence calls, and requiring background checks for all firearm sales and transfers. And then to learn more about domestic violence related firearm laws in Louisiana, you can go to http disarmdv.org. And so you can put in the state and then Louisiana, but you probably could do that for every state in the union, and you can get that information on the handguns. So you can see it seems like their laws are a little bit more lax, and that's probably why the numbers are so very high from what it seems. Okay. That's Georgia, Louisiana. No idea, California. Let's do Georgia. And like I said, you guys can look this up. It's very interesting information. And I know that probably it's not important to everybody, but pretty much it's like the statistic says. We know somebody that's going through, or we've either gone through ourselves or put somebody through. So it just kind of helps to inform yourself on a lot of different subject matters. And then when you're in a crowd of people, you can have an informed conversation, or you can start an informed conversation about anything, and people will gravitate to you. A place such as this, social media, is the only place that I know that I can speak and people really don't want to hear the subject matter. And I know that there are the majority of the people who's just following the crowd, but there are some of us who really want to know some things that we just don't know, and would love to have someone who's done the research and share it with us. Because one of the problems with us as a people is we don't want to put in the work to find ways to do things differently. And that's just as a people, not an individual. So when I speak, again, I don't speak for all, because it's all of nothing. And I'm not talking to or about an individual person. It's individuals as a whole. So just know that when you hear me speak. I'm going to always tell you that if I can remember to do that, because some people take offense and take things very personal when it's just a general statement. And if the shoe fits, then you wear it. And if it doesn't fit, then, slide it over to the side and, get your size. Domestic violence in Georgia. And like I said, I'm just basically reading those statistics that pretty much change. In Georgia, 37.4% of Georgia women and 30.4% of Georgia men experience intimate partner physical violence, sexual violence, and or stalking in their lifetimes. In 2019, Georgia Domestic Violence Program answered 52,282 crisis calls. And look how large these numbers are. Georgia domestic violence shelters provided shelter to 7,214 victims of domestic violence in fiscal year 2019. An additional 4,176 were turned away due to lack of bed space. And isn't that something? that we have money for all types of entertainment, but we don't even have shelters for mothers with children or fathers to go if they're being abused. And no matter what your preference should be, you're going to still either be a mother or a father or without children. In 2017, there were 149 domestic violence related fatalities. 70% of those involved firearms. In 2017, Georgia had the 10th highest rate in the U.S. of women murdered by men. As of December 31st, 2019, Georgia had submitted 1 misdemeanor domestic violence and no active protective order records to the NICS. With all of those numbers, you just find it hard to believe that this is the numbers they come up with to go into that system. And again, you can go and look these statistics, and you can see about the laws, what could make a difference if, when they're issuing these orders, they could probably cut down on some things. And as I was saying about that disarmed DV org state, Georgia. So like I said, you can put state and you can put whatever state you want to put in there, and it will give you your state information. Let's do Wisconsin. They have a lot of missing people and a lot of violence in Wisconsin. But I was looking at the numbers, and they really kind of shocked me. I thought it would be more than what it is, but it is a little less than what I thought, but it's still bad nonetheless. Regina said, I am curious about these numbers. I know domestic violence is a serious issue and absolutely nothing to take lightly in all its forms of domestic violence. However, these statistics will need to be broken down by heterosexual. And Regina, when you go to this website, they may even have that broken down, to be honest. Maria said, a lot of the resources have been given away or used up. They mainly depend on donations. You're so right about it. And Regina said, versus the LGBTQ, etc. Yeah, that would be interesting. And I may even go and just try to see if I can find it and just do a follow-up. Because that will make a difference. Because as I stated when I started this conversation about the domestic violence, everybody that I knew when I was growing up that lived that type of lifestyle before it became all of the alphabets, they really had violent relationships. They were always fighting, and they used weapons, and not just guns. They used knives as well, and they always seemed to end when they ended very brutally. And a lot of times one person, if not both, lost their lives in a lot of those relationships. Domestic violence in Wisconsin. 36.3% of Wisconsin women and 32.1% of Wisconsin men experience intimate partner physical violence, intimate partner rape, and or intimate partner stalking in their lifetimes. In 2018, Wisconsin law enforcement agencies reported 30,999 incidents of domestic violence, resulting in the 21,960 arrests. Many other incidents went unreported. In 2019, there were 52 domestic partner homicides in Wisconsin. 56% of these homicides were committed with a firearm. In a single day in 2020, 55% of Wisconsin's domestic violence programs served 1,157 victims. 234 requests for services went unmet due to lack of resources. On the same day, hotlines at these programs received one call every 3 minutes. Every 3 minutes. As of December 31st, 2015, Wisconsin had submitted 252 domestic violence misdemeanor and no protective order records to the NICS index. Between 2006 and 2015, there were 6,062 active protective orders in the National Crime Information Center for Wisconsin, 3,825 of which had a disqualifying Brady indicator. And again, these are some staggering statistics. To be real honest, they are very, very unfortunate. But this is how it's, going in America today. And so I said all of that to just say don't take chances today when you don't have to. Now, of course, a background check won't tell you everything. It won't tell you if a man has values or if they're honest or, integrity. But it'll tell you what they don't have, if in fact they have criminal history. And I'm going to come on camera now. Hello, everybody. It will tell you, if they have a criminal history, then you'll know what they're lacking. It can't tell you what they have. It can definitely tell you what they don't have. Yeah, you late, but yeah, that's good. The DEA, the ATF, and the FBI, that's the kind of stuff I was thinking about. Yeah, so when you look at these numbers, and a lot of these numbers, and Regina made a very good point about the breaking down. She said it absolutely will make a difference, because I am guilty of thinking whenever I heard about domestic violence when it came to men, I would only think heterosexual. This is definitely not necessarily the case. And that is so very true. That is so very true. Even as it pertains to the women as well. And Maria said, oh, okay. I already read what Maria said. That's so very true. So October is not only, again, breast cancer awareness, and we definitely want to keep all of the people that suffer from breast cancer. And as we've learned over the years, men suffer from breast cancer just like women. We used to only think it was a woman thing, but no, that's not it. And this is my Fuck Them Teeth Toothless Tiger t-shirt for anybody who may be interested in a t-shirt. And it's pink, and so that's for my pink. But I said that on a show one night, and my cousin and I were talking, and she's my producer of the show, and she's a teacher, and she reads a lot, so she hasn't been visible lately, but she's here. But she said that's a catchy phrase, and we need to do something with that. So I made my t-shirt, Fuck Them Teeth, because I decided to come on camera without my dentures. And a lot of people love to believe I don't have teeth. No, I have them all pulled. but I do have teeth. I just don't wear them. And that's what that is. But I wanted to go through all of this because what I was telling Alicia to vet this individual and then have fun. We as women don't really know how to have fun and how to be courted and how to date. Flirting, if you don't take it too far, is good. It's healthy. It's fun. You don't want to give off the wrong signal. So you don't want to go looking like that you're for sale. You don't want to assume anything. And like I told her, make sure that you know before you meet a person somewhere, because it's always best to meet them in the public place. Don't rely on anyone coming to your home to pick you up. You're going to their home and you're all going to be in one vehicle. That don't allow that to happen. But make sure that you understand that if this is going to be a date that's going to be Dutch, or is this a date that you're going on and you're not expected to buy your own food? And I don't know if y'all can tell, but I have on my pink and purple fingernail polish. I did that for the show tonight. You may see it for a second, but I did that because we're covering the month of October, the breast cancer and domestic violence. But you want to not take for granted, because you used to could say if someone asked you out on a date or asked you out to eat, then you would assume, and we know what assuming does, but we would assume that because they asked you, then thank you, Regina, then the onus would be on the person that's taking you out to foot the bill. But in today's society, in the world of social media dating, you don't know what is expected. And so you don't want to go sashaying up thinking you looking all cute and ordering food. You would probably order if you were paying, but you're under the guise that the person is paying, only to find out at the end of the meal, oh, I thought you knew. I'm paying for this and you paying for that. And you're not prepared. And I don't know, when you guys were growing up, coming from the old school, as we love to call ourselves, old schoolers, our parents taught us you never go anywhere. It used to be without a dime, because it used to cost a dime to use a public phone. Then they went up to a quarter. Now you don't even have public phones. But you never went anywhere without a dime and enough money to get you back home safely, either on a bus or in a cab. You must have had those things for them to let you go places, because things happen and they don't always work out the way they seem. And like I told Alicia, if you get there and it seems the person is a little more than what you anticipated, you always know how to excuse yourself. Always look for the route, the bathroom and the door out. You have to strategize. We can no longer take things for granted, even though I know chivalry is not dead. It's not. But everybody don't practice chivalry. And so you have to think for yourselves. And you have to think that, just like they say about the officer that goes off to work today, I want to go home tonight. You have to think like that when you're going on a date for the first time with somebody that you don't know, that I want to return home as healthy as I was when I went to that date. And so, not that you're saying that this person is Hannibal Lecter, but you don't know who that person is. And you're not going to take chances with your life. That's not going to happen on your watch. And so we should be more mindful of our dress. You can dress sexy, but you don't want to be so voluptuous till he think he's really on a date. I first told her to ask him, would this be Dutch or is this a date? Then I thought about that word DATE. And if you've ever looked at any of the police shows, I look at all kind of stuff. Or if you know men that have been solicited by women that walk the street, one of the things they ask the men is, Hey, baby, you want to date? So you don't want to use the word date because words matter. And we may not know every slang behind every word, but there are some things you need to know. It is not cute not to know today. It's not cute to be shy and an adult. That's cute when you're a little kid. When you're an adult, you need to be informed and you need to be inquisitive and you need to know some stuff. You can't go around like you could before we made it to the information age. Because just like you were looking things up, don't ever think that people aren't looking you up as well. And you don't know what all databases they have, they're privy to. And you don't know what all information people can gather about you before you ever meet them. So their motives could be pure, but they could not be pure. And so you have to meet everybody with, they may be not pure, but you give them the benefit of the doubt. Remember, we all fall short of other people's expectations, sometimes even our own. And these are just my opinions, my suggestions. I don't have a degree in nothing but life. And I didn't have to go to no school and I didn't have to apply for no license. I've just lived for 64 years. And if I make it to October the 26th, I would have lived 65 years. And so I just share what I know, the experiences that I've had and the experiences that people that I know have had and have shared with me. And I like to share knowledge because the more informed you are, the more in charge you are of you and your surroundings. Power is a great thing to have, but you also got to remember power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So you don't need to corrupt. All you need is to have the knowledge to protect your heart, your brain, and your gut. And then you have empathy for others, and that's compassion, and you're consistent. That's what I believe in. If you do those things, no matter who follows you, no matter who listens to you, no matter what, you'll always be at one and at peace with yourself. And that's where I strive to be daily, at peace with me. And Catchy say people are building relationships with folks they met on social media. Kind of scary to me. And maybe I'm just old school. Yeah, Catchy, it is both scary and old school because people really do meet people on social media just like they used to meet in the club. It's some people actually meet in the club one night, talk for 2 or 3 times, get married, and are still married today. I met a young man and a young woman. They were 70 some odd years old, but he was older than her about 10 years, 15 years. And they met when she was 15. And they're still married to this day. And they've been married 60 some odd years. So you never know what will work and what won't work. But what you just want to be is informed and prepared for anything. Regina said, you should always be prepared. That's right. If invited on a date, make sure you have enough money to pay your own way. Always be prepared, be ready, and you never have to worry and don't have to get ready. Right, Regina, 100. Catchy said, maybe say, hey, can we catch a movie? Yeah, but I don't know. I'd probably be scared for a first date to be a movie in the dark. I don't want to get stabbed. You know, my mind, I look at too many of the ID channels and too many of those kind of stories. And we have a different breed of people today. And to me, it all has to do with a combination of things. The environment in which people live, grew up, what they were exposed to. the food that we're ingesting, the water, the medication they have people on, the air that we breathe. So it's too many variables for me to be talking about. And I just met you. Let's go in this dark theater. I'm not gonna be able to do that. We're gonna have to, yeah, we're gonna have to do something else. It's gonna be a minute before I would want to trust me in a theater with somebody I don't know. Uh, unless we were at, they do have a few theaters that is just like you're sitting at home at the living room, and like the dinner theaters where you can eat, and the lights are on and you're sitting at table and chairs, not necessarily in the dark, side by side. Yeah. um Regina said, also, if a person asks you out for dinner and when the bill comes and say they not covering you, run. She said, run. Cachet said, I don't mind paying personally, but it seems men are expecting it nowadays. Yeah, and it's nothing wrong with being willing to pay. That's why you find out before you ever leave your home what their intentions are. But you still don't know what a person is going to do. But you need to know the intent. So therefore, you can make an informed decision. And if they say they intend to pay, then you need to make sure you have the money just in the event they can't. You can pay and get on out of there. Uh, Cache say, I know, but it's rare today. Divorce is at its highest. Yeah, and people are divorcing for all the wrong things. I think the biggest problem in relationships, and this is just my personal opinion, and from my divorces I had two, is the lack of being able to communicate with one another. I think that's it. Hey, Lyra. I think that's the biggest problem in a relationship. People say it's money. I really don't believe that. That's probably true for some people. Because remember, I'm not an all nothing. But I think the biggest problem that we face in any relationship, but mainly marriage, is the inability to communicate one with another. I think that's what causes relationships. And another things that I've seen, to me, and this has just been my personal experience, anybody can share it if they've experienced the same thing. But the one relationships that I've seen that seem to be more loving and lasting are the relationships where people call each other endearing names. Like, sweetheart or baby doll or honey or darling. Whatever the endearing names are, I found that those relationships seems to have more tenderness, and then they seem to communicate a little better. But my key point is going to always be what makes mostly anything in is our inability to communicate one with another. Regina said, let's meet for coffee, smoothie, tea is a good way to meet publicly and have a face-to-face first meetup, not necessarily a date. You're so right about it, Regina. And I guess that would be good if that's what you were proposing. But if God want to take you out to eat, I guess you can say, well, let's do coffee. I guess you could, change the whole tenor of that conversation. But that's a real good way where it'll be. And one good thing, too, that it's a kind of early evening outing. And that's another good thing. When you're first meeting someone, you want it to be pretty early evening when people are out and about, although people don't too much pay attention to other people, but there is someone always watching wherever you go. So we do know that happens. Now, I don't know what the flagging is about for today, but people do that. And so I'm going to pledge allegiance to the flag, to the United States of America, and to the republic for for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't understand it, but it's not for me to understand. A lot of craziness that goes on. All I have to do is deliver what I came here to do. And that's what I plan on doing. No sidetracks. When you're a millionaire, you don't have to do anything to undergird anybody. I didn't do that when I was poor. But now that I'm a millionaire, I certainly wouldn't do anything to hurt anybody or undergird anybody. I just keep living my life the way I live it. I was flagged, and so you can pretty much tell when they're doing a big flagging on you because you start buffering, and then I went out and came back. So that's when they're doing the most of the flagging and stuff. And so they flag in droves to keep you from getting commercials on your videos because, YouTube does not know. And what they started doing, especially on my videos, I used to have several that I wouldn't get commercials on. They may start with commercials, but they flagged, and once they caught up, then they would put it on. I couldn't get commercials. And then now what they do is, can you drop a like? I don't know what that means. Liked and shared. Can you drop a like? I don't know who BTW Tim Sweeney is. And if you're asking, can I drop a link? Then give me a reason to want to drop my link. Do I know you? I don't drop links. That's why I'm asking that question. But I'm glad that you liked and shared it. I appreciate that. But if you can tell me a little bit about you, that'll make me decide if I want to drop my link or not. Yeah, that's happening a lot because a lot of people don't want to see change and they don't want to see growth. But this has been my show since I started. And so people need to do whatever they're big enough to do. I don't have a problem with that. I'm going to continue to come and I'm going to continue to do what I do. And I, suggest everybody else do the same. Just be you. BTWT, say something in the chat so I'll know, because if you don't say something soon, then I'm going to get ready to end the show. That's what I was getting ready to do. And one thing that I've learned from Asator is when I say I'm going to end the show, to end the show. Because a lot of people leave, and I don't have a lot to start with, but the ones that are here and really enjoy being here will leave thinking I'm gone and I'm still talking. So I don't want to be doing that. But if you would tell me, Tim Sweeney, who you are and what you want to say, because I don't have buffoonery on my show. Not at all. Some say that I'm a cult. I'm no cult. But I definitely have order. And this definitely is my channel. And it's definitely ran the way I want it. That's the way that is. But I am a person that believes in everybody participating in whatever way you're willing to participate. So I need to know, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to share? And I think I've said that long enough and you haven't responded. So I don't know if you really want to do that or not. But again, saying that since I am a millionaire, $11 million strong, I don't have to go to all these tactics and all that kind of stuff. It's not necessary. And for all of those who laugh and think that I don't have a dime, I'm happy for them. I'm truly happy for them. Okay. He's a gamer. Okay. Maybe I know him, maybe I don't. But won't you do this for me, Tim? My email is here. Won't you send me an email? And contact me through my email, and I'll give you my number, and then we can talk, and then I'll let you know. Because really, I don't play the games that these people play. I really don't. Never have, never will. I'm too old. I don't know enough about technology. I don't know how to stop people from doing stuff. I'm just a little old simpleton that lived life and wanted to share it with as many people that was willing to hear it. And so I'm grateful for everybody that's here. Regina, thank you so much. You guys are really on top of it. Y'all really helps me and Maria out, and I appreciate it. And so Alicia and Ask, they may be gone to bed already, Laura. Y'all help us out so much, and we greatly appreciate it. Uh, Man, it's good that you're still here. I hope that you continue to visit. Uh, but Tim, if you would, hit me up on my email, toothless7@gmail.com, or cygern, JERN 1026 @gmail.com. That's the one I'm in the most. But hit me up on either one of those. cygern, CYJERN 1026 @gmail.com, or toothlesstiger7@gmail.com. Hit me up on there, and I'll be more than happy to send you my number, and we can have a conversation. And then anytime you come and you want to come up, once I know what it's about, we can do that. I don't drop my link, actually. Um, I find it's less problem. And then there are certain things that I don't discuss and I don't want to discuss. So I like to just keep it smooth sailing. Nothing but smooth sailing. Y'all, that song that was stuck in my head, Turn Your Click Up, I've been listening to that song ever since the day I figured out what it was. And, I'm kind of like a junkie. My song is calling me because I've been without it for now 3 hours. And trust me, I've listened to that song every minute since the time that I heard it, except when I came to do my show the other day and today. So I'm about ready to get ready. I thank you guys for being here. Go back and look at this and share it with others if you haven't had a chance. But domestic violence is real. Dating and problems on dates are real. It happens to men and women. Regina, I'm going to look into those statistics a little more and see if I can find out a little bit more information. And I know you will too, because I know your knowledge and the way you think. And I appreciate you so much. And I'm glad you were able to be with us. Asatar has been busy lately and he's in and out. But we know that he's doing either daddy duty or he's working. So I understand that. I want to say thank you, Tim, again for sharing and liking the video. I greatly appreciate that. But give me email, and you can email me anytime, and I will send you back a response with my number. And I appreciate that. Regina said, unfortunately, with all forms of social media, there will be all types of people, good, bad, and indifferent. Tell the truth. I would love to have a conversation regarding the social media, the media, entertainment. Okay, let's do it. And the news, with all its influences and impacts on society, including ethnic groups. Okay, well, Regina, like I told you, all you have to do too is email me and let me know. And if you don't want to talk, then you don't have to, but you can just email me and let me know. That's to always talking noise. I'm not gonna repeat what he said, but they can flag them though. I'm not. These cashews, huh? Or these pecans, they can flag those things. Yeah, we understand. But that sounds like a good topic, Regina. Very good topic. Y'all know in the Tiger's Den, we just talk about whatever comes to little Toothless mind. And if you all have a brilliant idea, nobody, and I keep asking y'all, please, I need you all to let me know who might have a misogyny in their town, and I can give away my massages. Y'all know those are my gifts. And nobody has actually gotten with me. Okay, that's fantastic. And yeah, I know yours, and I'll do the same too. Thank you, Regina. I appreciate that. Yeah, but guys, so we've been here a good 3 hours, and I am so excited about it. And Catchy, I really appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Madria, Asatar, Regina, Laura, Tim, Phyllis, Crystal, Uncle Shug, Kelly G, Man Zakir. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. I hope I am, but if I'm not, this Maine, and I don't know if that's Maine or man. Angie, the Queen. I just want to say thank everybody for being here and supporting me. I want to thank, I have a supporter who is no longer on YouTube, but they never fail to support me every month. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You know who you are, and I appreciate the love and support, and you know the same back to you. And Phyllis, I think I called you out, but if I didn't, I want to call you out. Brianna, I'm very happy to see you. It melts my heart. So Alicia, the pretty girl, which y'all please check out So Alicia video and give her a like. Also, I shared one of Charleston White videos, and it's about Trap Boy Freddy, and he's the guy that everyone said that was at war with Mo3, which you all know Mo3 is my most favorite rapper in the world, and he is no longer with us, they say, and so I take their word for it. But I thoroughly could not believe how I enjoyed that interview. My son told me I need to check it out because he knows how I go overboard one way, and he looked at it and he was very, very impressed. And not that we're anybody to be impressed, but that young man was very sincere at heart in my mind. And that's all that matters is my mind. And I was thoroughly pleased. So if you guys would check out that interview, I don't know if anybody's ever looked at it or liked it or whatever, but it was a very nice interview, especially if you knew what was happening in Dallas and how things was going on and how they ended. I'm still threematized and will always be a lover of Mo3 no matter what, but I have a newfound respect for Trap Boy Freddy, and I thank Charleston White and Dewberry Anthony Dewberry for putting forth that video. They're about building, and whether you agree or disagree with them, you cannot deny the work that Charleston is doing, and you cannot deny the conversations that he has when he's talking as Charleston White and not one of the characters on YouTube. So some people can't get past that, and that's great. But I had to learn to not be so tunnel and to open up a little bit. And like As said, maybe 3 to 6 inches I've moved, but I am moving. And Regina said, update, Carly Russell, young lady who was allegedly kidnapped, was charged today for filing a false report, ordered to pay restitution, and recommended to 1 year incarceration by the judge. Oh, well, that is really, really, really sad, but it could have been a whole lot worse. So I'm glad that they didn't do her like uh, they've been doing us here in the past few weeks, because it's been so much violence that's been happening to us, from the children to the adults to the police, and not to forget the violence and the harm that we do to each other daily. And I understand all of it and why we do it to ourselves and why it keeps happening to us. But we can only rise as high as we view our women, and we can only view our women differently once we start viewing ourselves differently. And so we need to start really researching. And you can go back wherever you want to go back. But we really need to start giving ourselves erudition. And that's education for humans. We need to start learning how things operate in this great place we call America. And then we need to start living up to the standards that we set for ourselves. Because once you have knowledge, then you can set a higher standard for yourself. If you don't have knowledge, then you're not going to have a high standard. You cannot, because you don't know that you have a need to. And having said all of that, I want to say to everybody, I am getting ready to leave the Tiger's Den, and everybody have a beautiful night and the rest of your week. And I'm going to leave out, because of the domestic violence topic, and I always talk about mental illness being a family affair. I'm going to play a family affair, and I'm going to play my rendition of Jennifer, because in a lot of domestic relationships, we get stuck on a person, obsessed with a person, and we're not leaving no matter what to the death of us. And that's not good. So I'm going to also play that. And then, of course, I'll end with my favorite, Speechless. So everybody have a beautiful evening, rest of your evening, good night, and the rest of the week. And hopefully we'll see each other on Sunday. Until then, I'm leaving the Tiger's Den. Goodbye. Did you know that mental health is a family affair? It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Well, one child grows up to be somebody that just loves to learn, and another child grows up to be somebody you just love to burn. Mama loves the both of them. You see, it's in the blood. Both kids are good to mom. Blood thicker than the mud. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Oh, a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Nobody wants to blow. Nobody wants to be left out. You can't leave because your heart is there. But you can't stay 'cause you've been somewhere else. You can't cry 'cause you look broke down, but you're crying anyway 'cause you're all broke down. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Well, it's a family affair. Hey, hey. You know, sometimes in a relationship, be it male or female, we tend to not want to let go. No matter what's going on in our relationship, we just want to hold on. Sometimes we find ourselves singing this song. And I am telling you, I'm not going. You're the best man I'll ever know. There's no way I can ever go. No, 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 no way. No, 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 no way I'm living without you. I'm not living without you. I don't want to be free. I'm staying, and you're gonna love me. Ooh, 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 love me. You're gonna love me. And I am telling you, I'm not going, even though the rough times are showing. There's just no way, there's no way. We're part of the same place. We're part of the same time. We both share the same blood. We both have the same mind. And time we've had so much to share. No, 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 no. I'm not waking up tomorrow morning and finding that there's nobody there. Darling, there's no way. No, 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 no way. I'm living without you. I'm not living without you. You see, there's just no way. There's no way. Tear down the mountains, yell, scream, and shout. Like you can say what you wanna, I'm not walking out. Stop all the rivers, push, strike, and kill. I'm not gonna leave you. There's no way I will. And I am telling you, I'm not going. You're the best man I'll ever know. There's no way I can ever go. No, 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 no way. No, 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 no way I'm living without you. I'm not living without you. Not living without you. I don't want to be free. I'm staying, and you're gonna love me. You're gonna love me. Yes, you are. Ooh, ooh, love me. Ooh, 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 love me. Love me. Love me. love me, you're gonna love me. I want to just acknowledge the person that gave the Cash App I didn't know I had received. So let me just say thank you in between speechless.
Your face. Just to remove the excess water. Now she's coming
This
out.
is how you do it. Thank you. YouTube. When I look at the subscribers that I received over the past year, 60 subscribers compared to other content creators. Some started when I started. Some came after me. The numbers are not numbering. From what my numbers tell me, I gained 1 subscriber every 6 days. YouTube, you got me. You got me. You've got me, YouTube. You've got me speechless. You've got me. You've got me. You've got me. You've got me speechless. All I can say is yes, yes, yes. All I can say is yes, yes, yes. Whoo.